everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's review we're going to be taking a look at the newly released Mechanical Alliance upscaled and enhanced Transformers Studio Series Scrapmetal. And now if you are in the market for adding this fantastic piece to your collection, it is available and in stock right now over at the Icon store, and for that of course I will leave a link down in the description box below, and be sure to use discount code Prime vs Prime for a discount off of your total order. So taking a look here at Scrapmetal, essentially what Mechanical Alliance have done with this release is taking that of the original Studio Series Deluxe Scrapmetal, upscaled it so that it now better matches the scale that Masterpiece figures have, slapped on a ton of brand new paint applications, as well as added some more accessories and some new attachments in order to better match Scrapmetal's appearance from the Revenge of the Fallen movie. Taking a look here at some of the new components, you can see that the attachment here that we have for the top is a lot more accurate to what we see in the film, especially just before the Decepticons are about to dive down and resurrect Megatron. This was definitely the attachment that we saw Scrapmetal have for his vehicle mode, and I think that the detailing and the sculpt work on this looks really awesome. It also does have a functioning mechanism, so you can see that we do have pin joints here, and it acts really authentic to that of a real life construction vehicle. Of course, I do believe that this is used to actually clamp and snap metal rods in half, so that is super awesome. Taking a look here at some of the additional paint applications, we do have the CAT logo as well as the caution tampo. We've got so many more paint applications here at the top for where all the hydraulics are, as well as here for where this lower crane section is. As we take a look here at the cockpit, all of the paint apps here have been applied incredibly crisp and precisely, and I really do love the metallic sheen that we also do have for where the windscreen here of this cockpit would be. As we take a look here to the side of the vehicle mode, you can once again see some fantastic sculpted and detailing, as well as clean paint apps there for the treads. And as we take a look, we've got the Caterpillar logo there, and actually taking a look here from a bird's eye perspective, the detailing on the actual top section of this vehicle I think looks incredible. We've got the caution restricted area, and now that they've actually painted all of this mesh detailing in a silver, in my opinion it looks so much more authentic to that of a real life construction vehicle, and in all is a superior look than what we got with the original Studio Series Deluxe. Something else worth noting is that not only is this figure upscaled and enhanced, but they have also added a ton of die-cast metal to him, meaning that he is an incredibly weighty piece. In my opinion, these Mech Alliance figures are going to appeal to collectors that perhaps don't want to spend $100 to $150 on, say, a Devil Savior product, but instead are looking for a slightly cheaper alternative that is still superior to that of the Studio Series Devastator. And in my opinion, this figure here for sure sits in that category. I don't think that it is going to be as detailed as what we got for Devil Savior, but in terms of how much this figure actually costs, I think that you are more than getting your money's worth. You can see that bringing in some of the additional components, we do of course get the original scoop section that was present on the original Scrapmetal, and just to demonstrate how you do remove this, it is on this almost mushroom peg, so you just want to apply some force and pop that section off, and then we can simply just take this here, snap this section into place. I just want to ensure that I am aligning it the correct way. You can see how that just slides in there, and that is much more faithful to the original version of Scrapmetal, which in my opinion is an incredibly overpriced figure on the aftermarket. So if you are just looking for a really awesome Scrapmetal figure, I think that this figure here will more than meet your needs. You can see that the figure can also roll incredibly well, and we do have all of these different hinge joints here for the crane, much like we did get on the original release. But as far as accessories are concerned, we not only do get a different attachment, but we also do get the grappling hooks that Devastator uses to fire in order to help aid his climb up the pyramid, and I think that that is so awesome. This of course plays a more vital role when we actually have this transformed up into the combined mode, but this is something that I wish the original Studio Series version did come with, and you can see that we have these amazing, really awesome looking die-cast chains there. In my opinion, this really helps to solidify my opinion in stating that this figure here is vastly superior than that of the original Studio Series version. And talking of original Studio Series, let's bring it in here for a comparison, so you can really see here just how much they have actually upscaled this mold for this new Mechanical Alliance version. This is a deluxe class, whereas this one I would say roughly fits into the large Voyager class category, and when actually handling them, you can for sure tell that the weight on the new Mech Alliance one is a lot more substantial than compared to this one due to the added die-cast components. But just giving you a quick bird's eye perspective, not only can you see the difference there in terms of the scale, but also in terms of the paint applications, and that also can be seen here when we take a look at it from a side-on perspective. So setting our Studio Series version here off to the side and turning to the transformation from the vehicle mode into the combined mode, it is exactly the same as what we got with that of the original version. So you can see that when we do remove this additional panel, we of course have some amazing paint applications there. So just take this section and attach that, and you're going to want to hinge this piece all the way around. What we can then do is take the fingertip and just hinge this out, as of course this does become Devastator's hand, which which in my opinion I'm really looking forward to building, as this piece is for sure a lot larger than that of our original version. So just rotate the fingers around once more. On this side we can take this piece, and I would actually recommend to keep this scoop section here for the combined mode, as in my opinion it looks slightly more like a finger than what we got with the original attachment. Of course, flip out this section here. You're going to want to come to the top and slightly lower these sections. Due to these being made out of die cast, they're a little more stiff than what we would get if they were plastic. Just hinge these pieces down and angle this all accordingly, and you can see that here we have Devastator's hand looking absolutely fantastic with the new paint apps. This definitely looks so much more detailed than the original version, and it looks huge. I really am looking forward to seeing how some of their leader class figures are going to turn out, such as Scavenger and Overload, as seeing this was originally a deluxe class, it is amazing how drastically different it looks now with the larger format. In order to actually attach the new component, you can see that we do have 2 tabs here and here, and we do have 2 slots underneath this. So I recommend just taking this section and aligning it up appropriately. It is rather difficult to convey on camera, but you just want to align those tabs and snap that in there nice and securely, and you can see how the grappling hooks do rest on the actual main bed there of the hand, and these are indeed detachable, so we can have these firing off in order to help aid Devastator's climb up to the Sun Harvester, and the actual grappling hooks themselves do extend, so you can imagine these firing into the building, these sections here expanding and really locking Devastator's grip, and the same can be said here for all of these components. One thing that I would be cautious of is to try your best not to get the chains actually intertangled with one another, as it can be rather difficult to actually remove those, but of course just extend this one here and repeat the exact same process there on the opposite side. And there you have the new Mechanical Alliance Devastator hand, in my opinion looking absolutely fantastic. And here for a very quick combined mode size comparison. If you thought that the scale difference in vehicle mode was drastically different, wait until you see these two here in their combined form. The brand new Mechanical Alliance completely dwarfs that of our original deluxe class. I am really anticipating to see how the new Mechanical Alliance Devastator is actually going to look once completely formed, as this piece is not only incredibly heavy but is massive. For sure is going to scale a lot better with your Masterpiece figures, or if you wished for Devastator to look slightly larger amongst your Studio Series figures, I think that this figure here will definitely meet your needs in terms of that. But just for a very quick comparison, you can see that in terms of scale, the new version just completely dwarfs that of our original official version. And so for one final transformation, let's get this Scrapmetal transformed up into his robot mode. So to begin with, you're of course just going to want to copy the exact same transformation to that of the original Studio Series version. The transformation on this figure is unchanged, so it's not as heavily adapted like what we saw with their Mechanical Alliance 01, which was that of Rampage. Stay tuned for the review of that, as it is coming incredibly soon. But just flip out the feet here on both sides. You're of course going to want to take this section, hinge the head up and around, and then just collapse that there over the top. Take this piece, snap that nice and securely into place, and we can just bring the arms around and down. Repeat the same process here for the opposite side. Just take this piece and snap that in, fold this up to the back, and there we have Scrapmetal fully transformed up into his awesome looking robot mode. And so now, taking a look here at Scrapmetal in his robot mode, out of all 3 of his modes, I really do think that this is the mode that truly shines the most. Setting beside the fact that now that he is upscaled, you can appreciate the details more. He is incredibly well painted, even better so than the original Hasbro version. Bringing Scrapmetal in here for a closer look, one of the biggest changes that they have actually implemented to this release in terms of the paint scheme is that they've opted to go for a slightly lighter shade of silver for the face, which in my opinion allows you to greatly appreciate the details more and really does give some definition to the sculpt. I love there the very red piercing eyes protruding there for where his eyes would be. All of the detailing that we have got going on here for the torso I think looks amazing, as well as the highlights here for the actual panel definition. I really do love that. As we take a look here for the arms, once again we have got the really nice looking decals, all of the amazing paint apps here for the actual forearms, and even here on the sides. The actual fingers themselves too have also been detailed really nicely, and of course you can open and close the fingers to your so desire. As we take a look here towards the lower region of the figure, unlike the Hasbro version, they have completely painted this, which in my opinion really does help to excel some of the sculpted in detailing that has already been carried over from the original version. As we take a look here for the legs, once again the paint applications in my opinion are vastly superior, with some fantastic copper highlights there for where the hydraulics would be, and then finally the incredibly durable die-cast feet have once again got this super nice yellow coating. As we take a look here at Scrapmetal's back, once again they have continued the paint applications. So here on the back of the arms. They too have been painted, as so have all of these joints here, which honestly in vehicle mode and combined mode you wouldn't even see, so it's great to see that they have gone the extra mile in order to ensure that the figure looks fantastic from all angles. If I just bring this section down, you can once again appreciate the amazing sculpt work, which is once again carried over from the original version, that being Scrapmetal's spine. And in terms of articulation, the figure's head here is on a ball joint, so it can look down to a fantastic degree as well as up. It can tilt side to side as well as rotate left to right. The arms are on ball joints, so they can rotate the full 360 as well as hinge out to the sides. We have a hinge joint here for the elbow as well as a ball joint, so not only can you utilize this for the elbow bend, but you could also use this as a bicep rotation, and utilizing both of those joints, you can see that he is able to curl well past 90 degrees. No wrist rotation, however the fingers can hinge back and forth. No waist rotation, however the legs can kick forwards that far as well as back to that far out to the sides. They can rotate here at the upper thigh. We also do have a bend here at the knee, and then finally, unfortunately, we don't have any range of articulation here for the feet, other than the fact that they can pivot forwards and backwards, mainly due to transformation. So in terms of articulation, it is more or less completely untouched when compared to that of the original version. It maybe would have been nice to have seen them incorporate some form of waist rotation. Seeing as this figure is now in a much larger format, I'm pretty sure that that may have been achievable, but nonetheless a really awesome looking release. In terms of implementing some of his accessories, he does come with the exact same useless shield that the original version came with. However, I really do like that they've made use here of this excess port. So if you do peg this in there to the side of Scrapmetal's arm, we can actually bring in this harpoon weapon that we used for combined mode, attach this here to this peg, and you can see that you can have Scrapmetal using this here as an almost grappling weapon in order to trap and imprison the Autobots, which in my opinion is really awesome. And I have actually been able to get this figure into some many dynamic poses actually deploying these. Of course, if you have some transparent stands to actually make these grappling hooks look as if though they're being fired, I think that that could create for a fantastic looking diorama, but in all, a really nice looking figure. Here for a Scrapmetal size comparison, we have our new Mech Alliance compared to that of the original Studio Series version, and you can just see here how substantially larger as well as how substantially wider the figure has actually become with this new release. I really do believe that this is the scale that the Studio Series Constructicons should have originally been in, as they are massive and are for sure going to create an amazing Gestalt once we get all of the 8 combiners from Mechanical Alliance. The original version was a fantastic figure on its own, however with the Constructicons I always feel as if though they should maybe be bigger, and Mech Alliance is certainly answering my prayers here with this release. You can also see the differences in terms of the paint applications. The use of a slightly lighter shade of silver for the face, in my opinion, looks a lot better than what we got with the original version, as it allows the detailing to be seen a lot more clearly. And you can also see here some of the panel definition to the actual torso, which once again just makes the figure look slightly more detailed. So in terms of scale, for those of you who are looking for larger Constructicons to go with either your Studio Series or Masterpiece figures, I certainly believe that you are going to get that here with this particular release. And so, some final thoughts. I actually do believe this figure has turned out really nicely. After initially not being that all enthusiastic about this particular lineup, I was pleasantly surprised to see that Mech Alliance have not only just taken our original figures and upscaled them, but have also drastically enhanced the paint applications, as well as remolded some brand new pieces in order to help aid the look of all 3 of these modes, and of course to increase the level of movie accuracy. I love this new attachment, especially where the vehicle mode is concerned. This is a lot more accurate and faithful to Scrapmetal's appearance in the Revenge of the Fallen movie. I think that this entire harpoon / grappling section is a great idea, and is something that I really wish we could have actually gotten with that original Studio Series version, and is something that we're not even getting as part of the DNA design upgrade kit, which once again I think is incredibly unfortunate. But to see that Mech Alliance have remolded that and have included it in this particular release really makes me look forward to some of their future releases. Could we potentially be seeing the enemy scrotum with some of our upcoming figures? Could we potentially see the missile pods that sit on Devastator's shoulders, or could we even see all of the tubes actually connect from Devastator's head down to the torso? These are all things that I think are going to be highly possible after handling this release, as this is something that they did not have to include whatsoever, and really sets this figure apart from just some of your regular upscales and KOs. So in all, a really nice looking figure. The plastic as well as the die cast is incredibly durable. I was quite surprised also to find how weighty this figure was. None of the joints feel cheap whatsoever, like they're going to bust over time, and I'm really looking forward to seeing as how some of of the other Constructicons are indeed going to fare in terms of their overall quality. The paint applications too are incredibly high grade. I have found next to no paint chipping on this release whatsoever. So in all, if you were unable to pick up the original Scrapmetal from the Studio Series and you're just looking for a Scrapmetal figure to add to the collection, I definitely think that this figure here is the right way to go. Or if you were like me and were just looking for slightly enhanced versions of your Studio Series figures to better match his on-screen movie appearance in terms of the scaling, I think once again this figure here will knock it out of the park. I also do believe that this release is fantastic for those who perhaps don't want to spend $100 to $150 per Constructicon on the likes of Devil Savior. If you are looking for a slightly cheaper yet really awesome alternative, once again Mechanical Alliance do have you covered. So with all that being said, if you are in the market for adding this figure to your collection, he is available and in stock right now over at the Icon store, and for that of course I will leave a link down in the description box below, and be sure to use code Prime vs Prime for a discount off of your total order. I really do hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, please do let me know down also in the comment section below, and be sure to let me know on whether or not you plan on adding this figure to your collection, and whether or not the Mechanical Alliance Constructicons are figures that you are looking to pick up. I thank you all for watching this video, and until my next review, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.